Welcome to this tutorial. My name is Ian and I will be taking you through the tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to continue with our series of tutorials around Excel Copilot. In this one, we're going to be looking at sorting and filtering capabilities. So we're going to be looking at some text filters, we're going to look at numeric filters, top 10 filters. So we're going to see how Copilot can assist us with all of these. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the latest videos. But let's jump into the tutorial. I will see you there. Welcome to this tutorial. So we're going to continue from where we were with the previous tutorial. In the previous tutorial, we'd loaded our data and we'd converted it into a table where we could use the Excel Copilot. Just a quick reminder, please make sure that you've got the Copilot Pro or the Enterprise version to be able to work with Excel. Otherwise, unfortunately, you will not have the correct license. So as we mentioned before, we do get these 4 options of things we can do with Copilot. We can create formulas, highlight things, sort and filter, and analyze. So in this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how we can sort and filter our data. If we click on this, it just gives you a description sort of saying I can sort and filter your data to keep things organized. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at how we can put our questions in here to get our sorting and filtering. Now, if you're aware of Excel tables, then you're probably aware you can click actually on the drop downs and you can do all your sorting and you can do filters as well. Also, if you click on this, you can see there's a number of different types of text filters. So we could find things that equal something, begins with something, or contains something. So quite a lot of power that we've got there. But let's start off by using Copilot. So let's say that we actually want to take this customer state now and we want to sort this. So let's say sort the customer state. And we're going to say from A to Z. And again, we'll just submit that. And as I mentioned previously as well, Copilot can be quite slow at the moment, so we might speed this up on the videos a little bit sometimes. You can see that one was pretty quick. And sometimes you might find some of the response times maybe not as quick as you would like. I do foresee, though, obviously, that this will improve enormously as we go forward in time. Okay, so there we go. Our first customer state now sorted, and you can see it's now sorted from A to Z. Now, let's say we wanted to do a filter. So let's say we only wanted to see in the product category, we only wanted to see the technology product category. So let's tell it to filter product category. And we're going to tell it we only want to equal to technology. Now, one thing you're going to find that as you're entering these statements or entering these questions, you're going to have your own way of doing it, your own phrases that you want to say. So these are just examples. It doesn't mean you have to do it this way. Please make sure that you actually experiment with different ways of being able to do this. Okay, again, we're going to leave it to do that. Okay, so there we go. Again, that was pretty quick, not too bad. And now we've got the product category that is technology. So as you can see, it's clearly filtered to only show the rows for that. Now, what we could want to know at this point is maybe we might want to know how many rows actually have the product category technology. So let's say how many rows have product, I'm going to say product category. Let's get the spelling right. Product category technology. So there we go. How many rows have product category technology? Let's send that in as well. And again, we'll leave it to do its work. Okay, so we start to get some answers now. So you can see that what it did firstly was it's actually created a pivot table. So it's telling me the 60 rows. And with the pivot table, I could actually add this to a new sheet. So if you create an answer that you like and it's in a pivot table format, you can add it to a new sheet and you could work with that pivot table. Or in this case, it's also just giving me the answer saying there's 60 rows in the table where the product category is technology. So there we go. Very easy to ask those types of questions. What if you wanted to say that you want to look for something that begins with something or contains? And these product names, we've got quite a lot of different product names. So let's say we only want to see the product names. So let's see if we can get this to clear existing filters. So we'll start off with that, to see if we can clear the existing filters. Okay, so there we go. That's good news. We can see there's other product categories now. And now that we've got no filters, let's say we want to find all the product names that begin with Xerox. So let's say display all product names begin with Xerox in this case. Again, let's submit that. Okay, so there we go. We've now actually got all of them that begin with Xerox. So hopefully you've seen some examples there of some text ones we can do. Now I could give you a lot more examples. I could, for example, just tell it to find where the product name contains the word table, for example. Or I could do a combination and tell it to display all the records for product category technology and the region is East. So I'll leave you to experiment with those. But what I do want to do is let's move on to looking at some numerical examples. So let's say we were filtering, in this case, say our sales values. Now, again, I could go to my filters here, and in your number filters, you can find things that are equal to something, greater than something, less than something, between. Also, we have a top 10. So we're going to be looking at that as well. So let's just clear all filters again. And let's then put a numeric example into this. So let's say we want to see all the sales values that were greater than, say, $5,000. So that's what we're going to be putting into the next one. Okay, so there we go. It's cleared it. Let's just remove that. And we're going to say display all records that have sales greater than 5,000. Into that. And again, you're going to see it's just going to do a simple filter on this, and we should just see all the records where our sales are greater than 5,000. Okay, there we go. We got some examples. And again, I could put the question in here to say how many records had sales greater than 5,000. We've already seen an example of that, so you could enter that. We could also say that we want to see records that are, say, less than something. So let's say display all records less, let's say with sales less than 500. And we'll accept that and see if we get all the sales less than 500. And there we go. We now got all the sales less than 500. And you'll see that time I didn't clear all the filters. So you don't need to clear all the filters all the time, but you can sometimes just override existing filters. But just know you can clear it if you wanted to. So I could continue with this, and I could actually now put in examples of between. I could say, show me all the profit values that are between 0 and 50 if I wanted to. And you just put that in as a statement. But I'm going to move on, and we're going to look at an example of top 10. So let's say I want to see what the top 10 sales figures were. So display the top 10 sales values. Just there we go. You should be able to see that. Display the top 10 sales values. Click on send. Again, leave it to do its work. And there we go. We now got the top 10, hopefully. Let's see if I do a quick count on this. There we go, down at the bottom. Actually, just see if we can pop this up a little bit. There we go. There we got our count of 10. Okay, we could also tell it we wanted to see the bottom 10, for example. So let's say, actually, instead of using bottom 10, I think you can know it's going to show the bottom 10. Let's use a percent. Now, this is something that many of you may know. You can use a percentage. So let's say we want to see all the values that make up the bottom 20% of sales. So let's say display all values that make up bottom 20% of sales. Okay, so just to go through that again, display all values that make up bottom 20% of sales. Let's see how it does with that one. Okay, and there we go. It's now shown me quite a number of values, but as you can see, it is less than the total number of values. So it's clearly showing me the bottom 20%. Okay, so the last one we're going to look at is that we just want to see, can we use dates? So let's take an example and see if we could use a date. And let's say we want to display all the rows that are before the order date, 1st of June 2019. Okay, so I'm going to say display all records that are order date before 1st of June 2019. Okay, so again, as you can see, I'm just sort of putting the question the way that I would ask it. Let's submit to that. Okay, so in this case, it's actually returning nothing, which it should have done better than that because I think there are records. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to say clear all filters. And then we'll try it again because I do think that the existing filter was probably causing a problem there. And as I said before, just be aware of existing filters. Okay, so we cleared all the filters. Let's see if we can ask the same question again. So we're going to say display all records, order date for 1st of June 2019. Okay, so let's try that one again. Okay, and we do have some records this time. So just be careful if you do have existing filters in place. Sometimes it will override if you're using the same field for filtering, but if you're using a different field, then it's important to actually clear your filters before you ask the new question. But there we go. Hopefully that's giving you some examples of sorting. And if we took the dates a bit further, you would be able to say, I want to see dates after a date or between certain dates. So we could have shown some more examples of that. However, we're going to conclude the tutorial there. I will see you in the next one.